Testing, testing, one, two, three. I'm using a phone. Anyways, uh, um, well, I guess I should talk about the main topic of this video. That is, comic books, and how reading the Invincible comics really reignited my love for the medium. Um, Around, I will say 20 2013, 2014, I think. I was still practically a kid, but I just stopped getting interested in superhero comics. Honestly, stories were worse, the characters were worse. Um, Spider-Man keeps getting screwed over, nowadays, and I just stopped reading them after a while. I just stopped caring what was going on, and I only really watched a bunch of other. I only really watched superhero TV shows and movies, and even then, I just stopped at after an Endgame, and I just really didn't care until Invincible released, and not the comic book, but the TV show, but. So I watched Invincible with my brother, the first season with my brother, and I thought it was pretty good, and yeah, that was 2 years ago, and I just watched the first half of the second season. I'm not going to be spoiling anything, so just to let you know. Watching the first half of the second season, I decided to read the comics, and I have to say, the Invincible comics are probably the best, one of the best comic book stories that I have read, because it's just amazing, honestly. All of the characters progress, the world advances, and I realized that I didn't grow out of comics. It's rather that I was sick of the medium, the characters not growing, everything getting reset over and over again. And I was sitting there as I realized this, because I realized that I didn't hate comics, or I didn't dislike comics anymore, or I grew out of them. I just realized that the stories nowadays just suck. So after reading the Invincibles comics, I decided to go back and read the stories that I didn't read in Marvel and DC's catalogs, and I realized that I still loved these characters. I still loved the stories they were telling. Not the modern stories, but the older stories. I just read Kingdom Come, and it made me realize that superhero comics, I didn't grow out of them. It's a problem that Marvel and DC has, whereas they keep the characters stagnant. The universe or whatever just keeps resetting. Nothing really grows or develops. And also, I might spoil something. For example, Peter Parker. Peter Parker continues to get screwed over, despite the fact that, Peter Parker continues to get screwed over. He keeps getting reset over and over again, and it's really frustrating. If you've read the Spider-Man comics, frankly, I haven't read any of the newer stuff. I don't know who Paul is, but apparently he cucked Peter. It's a bit cringe. Fucking NTR. So, yeah. And, I was reading some of the older stuff, and one thing that stuck with me was the clones. Ben Riley, I think that's his name. He was a clone of Peter Parker, and eventually he eventually he straight up became Peter's brother and slash Peter's daughter's uncle. And, like, there's so much that could have been done with Ben Reilly, but they decided to screw him over because they hated clones and whatnot, even though, like, Ben Reilly could have took over Peter Parker and Mary Jane. They were married, they were building a family. Why not focus on that? And even nowadays, like, there's a lot of characters that could replace Peter Parker as Spider-Man, and they just don't allow him to grow. Like, there's Miles Morales. I believe Mayday Parker. That's Peter Parker's daughter. Even though, it's not canon in the, I think, 616 universe yet. Because, of course, we gotta keep resetting that shit. But, I'm just tired of the resets. Like, the characters are not allowed to grow. That's basically what really frustrated me about comics, even at a young age, even though I didn't realize that was what was frustrating me at a young age. I was like, it isn't that much about, like, quote-unquote woke garbage, and more just being tired of there's no growth in these characters. There was very little. Like, what changes has Batman had exactly in the past 10 years? Like, outside of fucking stupid shit like The Batman Who Laughs. I never read any of the Batman Who Laughs comics. I just heard, like, synopses and reviews, and it sounds incredibly stupid. But you see my point. There is barely any fucking change. Like, and that's what I want in any medium. For example, in manga, fuck. sorry. But, in some mangas, like, the main character would be constantly changing. And I think that's part of the reason why manga is kicking the ass out of comic books at this point. In terms of sales numbers, because they're constantly changing. Like, why can't I remember the names of any manga? Anyways, I've been reading some manga, guys, but, yeah. I'm not sure what I want to say, but, yeah, Invincible is really good. I really like the comic book. Since I've finished Invincible, I decided to rewatch some of the shows and movies that I liked as a kid. Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes. I completed that. I'm going to rewatch the entirety of the DC animated universe, like the Batman the animated series, Superman the animated series, Justice League Unlimited. I think there's a few other shows, but I did not watch them as a kid. I think I'll just, like, look up, like, what's a part of it and just just watch them later. Like, was it Static Shock? Batman Beyond. Yeah, there was Static Shock, Batman Beyond, Batman. Fuck, but you get the point. And yeah, I've been reading old comic book stories like Kingdom Come, and I'm sorry, this is a terrible video, isn't it? So, yeah. I decided to make this video out of a whim. Hopefully I could organize my thoughts better, but, Invincible. If you haven't read Invincible yet, I'd recommend giving it a shot. It's really good. And, yeah. It made me fall back in love with comics since I stopped reading it years ago. Made the ideas of superheroes cool again. But, yeah, I just decided to make this video. Goodbye. Jesus Christ, I'm awful.